dump, it was all a dream. Related to killers and dope fiends. Cousin was moving at 14. White things but no porcelain. How could they sleep on this poor thing? What I foreseen was a short thing.
Huge shout out to Uno Hype for the new Lakers Report intro video. You guys, make sure to go check out his new single, Untitled. The link is going to be in the description below, and you can also find him on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, and more. You guys definitely make sure to go check him out. He is so talented. He has some amazing music, and I know you guys will love it. The Lakers are currently the #1 seed in the Western Conference and are on their way to an incredible year. Now, I know the season is just getting started, but there have been so many surprises so far. So today, let's talk about the 5 biggest surprises of the Lakers season so far. What's up, Laker fam? You're watching Lakers Report by Chat Sports, all things Lakers. As always, I'm your host, Hannah Kulik, aka Laker Han. Now, you heard it here. We are going to be having a very exciting show today because we are going to be talking 5 biggest surprises for our Los Angeles Lakers so far this season. Like I mentioned, we are off to an amazing start. #1 in the Western Conference. We're playing amazing. We have a great record. I don't really think there's a lot to really complain about if you're a Laker fan, but this season, even though it is so early on, has still been filled with a lot of surprises, a lot of things I don't think a lot of people were expecting. All right, now before we start talking about the 5 biggest surprises here, I want to make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button down below so that you do not miss a single second when it comes to our Los Angeles Lakers. And while you're at it, go ahead and give me a follow on my Instagram at HannahRoseKulik and my Twitter at Hannah_Kulik. But without further ado, let's get into it. Starting with number 5 here today, we have Dwight Howard's revival. Now, obviously, when the Lakers signed Dwight Howard to that non-guaranteed contract this summer, a lot of fans were really scratching their heads. There were obviously a lot of question marks regarding Dwight, his health, his attitude, why the Lakers would even bring him back considering it ended so poorly back when he was a Laker a few years ago. Myself included, I was honestly not the biggest Dwight Howard fan, and you know what? He has really impressed me, as he has a lot of fans. He has honestly been the most consistent player really coming off the bench for the Lakers. He's provided a huge spark off that bench in terms of energy, in terms of his defense, even his offense. His teammates have loved playing with him. Everyone has raved about how much energy he has brought into this team. His mindset has really been completely 100% there. He's been a total team player, and I, for one, have been extremely impressed with what I have seen from Dwight Howard so far this season. Now, so far this season, Howard is averaging 6.4 points. He's averaging 7.8 rebounds, about 1.7 blocks per game. Now, he is shooting almost 79% from the floor, which is pretty impressive, but even though those stats overall may not be the most impressive, obviously Dwight Howard back in his day is easily a 2010 kind of player. He is doing so much for this team that isn't necessarily showing up on the stat sheet. Like I said, really providing so much energy off the bench. Whenever the Lakers are playing their best, it seems like Dwight Howard is on the floor for them. Whenever they're kind of leading that comeback, it seems like he's the guy who's really helping them on the defensive end get those blocks, get those steals, and get those defensive stops to ultimately allow the Lakers to win the game. And so far, the Lakers have really looked amazing when he is out on the court, which leads me to believe that he is going to end up being our starting center at some point. Obviously, right now, that starting center spot goes to JaVale McGee, but I just have a feeling that at one point this season, Dwight is going to be in that starting 5. But let me know if you guys agree with me down below. Who do you think would be a better starting center for the Lakers this season? Do you think it should be Dwight Howard, or do you think it should be JaVale McGee? Comment down below, because I personally think that Dwight Howard should be that starting center, although he is doing an amazing job coming off the bench and providing energy that way. I just think, you know, the team really does play better with him on the court, so you might as well just make him that starting center. But comment down below and let me know if you agree with me. All right, now moving on to our 4th biggest surprise so far for this season, we have the inconsistent 3-point shooting. Now, obviously, going into this summer, getting good knocked out down three-point shooters was the front office's main priority. And it really seemed like we did that. You know, we signed Danny Green, we got Avery Bradley, Troy Daniels, we got Anthony Davis, of course, who's a very good three-point shooter. Kyle Kuzma was supposed to be a great three-point shooter when he came back. We had Quinn Cook that we signed. You know, it really appeared that the Lakers went out and addressed this issue and surrounded LeBron and Anthony Davis with guys who were going to be able to knock down three-point shots. But so far this season, it just hasn't really happened. We've honestly really struggled from behind the line, and that's been something that has been probably our biggest struggle so far this season. As a team, the Lakers are only shooting 31% from three, and even though we have a great record, we have been playing really well. If we are going to be able to compete with the elite teams, especially in the playoffs, we are going to really have to have these guys start to knock down these three-point shots. Danny Green has to be able to do it consistently. We need Avery Bradley to continue to be more of an offensive force. Quinn Cook. We need Alex Caruso to step up, because there have been nights where some of these guys have been able to knock down their threes, but so far, no one has really been able to do it consistently. So moving forward, that is something that the Lakers really have to improve on if we want to be able to compete with the Clippers and some of the other top teams in the NBA. Another thing that we also would have to kind of figure out, which kind of does kind of go in with this inconsistent three-point shooting, is our lack of a consistent third scoring option. Now, a lot of people assumed it would be Kyle Kuzma, and it very well may be. I'm definitely hoping it will, but so far Kuz is still kind of struggling to come back from that injury. He's only been back for a little over a week now, so it's going to take some time for him to get his legs fully under him, for him to get back to that Kyle Kuzma that a lot of people were expecting him to be. But so far, the Lakers haven't really had that consistent score, that third scoring option, which is something that they definitely need, because we don't want to have to rely on LeBron James and Anthony Davis every night. Even though those are our main guys and our leaders of our team, it would be nice that the Lakers have a third guy to really step up and consistently be able to help those two superstars, so that they don't have to do everything for us out there. So moving forward, our biggest surprise has been the lack of inconsistent three-point shooting and our lack of a third scoring option. So those are two things that the Lakers are going to have to address moving forward as the season plays out, which I'm not too worried about. Again, we have a lot of guys who are known for being three-point shooters. The season is just getting underway, so I think it's just going to take some time, and as the season progresses, I think the Lakers will be a better three-point shooting team. Now moving on to number 3 on our list today, LeBron James is still the king. Now at age 35, he's in his 17th season. All summer long, all everyone was saying was that, you know, LeBron was past his prime, he was washed, and obviously the king heard that, because he has really attacked this season so far with a vengeance, and he has really set the tone for the entire team. He just has this look in his eyes like he is ready to kill it this season, and so far he is doing just that. We've already seen him have 4 triple-doubles this season. He had 3 in a row, which was the first Laker player to do that since Magic Johnson. He can honestly pretty much just average a triple-double in my opinion. And besides that, obviously we know that LeBron James can score the basketball. That's never been something he struggled with, but what I have been most impressive by LeBron so far this season is his effort on the defensive end. He is really playing extremely hard, very well on defense. He knows that really defense leads to offense, and he has been one of the catalysts of this. He has been preaching that they have to be the top defensive team. They have to be extremely, extremely tough on defense in order to win the games, and that's something that's very nice to see, because obviously LeBron is one of those guys, as a lot of these superstars are, when you're playing at such a high level, when you're a superstar caliber kind of player like LeBron James, he's always known for maybe not being the toughest defender, not trying as hard on defense. So to see him really buckle down on defense, really make it a priority this season, is obviously a great thing to see, because it has really carried on with this entire team. Now, we mentioned here his 4 triple-doubles so far for this season. He's honestly been looking to be more of that facilitator type of player, which a lot of people assumed he would be, that de facto point guard for us, primary ball handler for us, especially with Rajon Rondo still out and not able to play yet this season. He really has been the primary ball handler, and he's honestly likely to lead the league in assists in my opinion. I would not be surprised at all. He's already leading the Lakers obviously in assists, which is nothing to be surprised there. So LeBron is well underway to having another extremely impressive season, but the biggest question here is, can he keep it up? Because he is playing so hard on both ends of the court, the Lakers may have to kind of insinuate some load management here and really implement some load management for the king in order to make sure that he stays fresh for our playoff run and for our championship run. So I think that maybe as the season kind of continues, the Lakers may look to add a little bit more of this load management to him that we've seen them already do with Kawhi Leonard and some of the other stars in this league. But do you think that the Lakers need to try to preserve the king and keep him fresh for the playoffs? Do you think they need to kind of start implementing some load management already this early for LeBron James? If you do, type Y for yes. If not, type N for no. I don't really think they need to start implementing load management right now, but I do think as the season continues, especially on some nights where we have a back-to-back situation, we may want to kind of look to rest him there just to make sure he does stay fresh for the playoffs and for our run that we want to have, and ultimately, hopefully, be in the finals and contend for a championship. But as of right now, I don't think we need to implement any load management. I think LeBron is fine. And I also want to remind you guys that we are still doing the Kashiyama Tailors giveaway. So if you want to win a free custom tailored sports coat and potentially win $25 Venmo to you by me, then all you have to do is go to Kashiyama Tailors and follow them on Instagram, then DM me once you do so. We are going to be announcing one lucky winner who wins the free sports coat and the $25 Venmo giveaway on November 17th. So go ahead and check out BetDSI if you want to bet on your favorite sports teams this season, and go check out Kashiyama Tailors. Follow them on Instagram if you want to win a free sports coat and the chance to win $25. Now let's move on and talk about our second biggest surprise for the Lakers this season, and this is going to Avery Bradley. Now, when the Lakers signed Avery Bradley this summer, I was really excited about it. I thought he was a guy who could really have a big impact with this team, and he was kind of one of those guys that was really fighting to prove that he still belonged in this league and that he still could play at an extremely high level. So he was definitely going into this season with a lot to prove, and during this offseason, we heard that he had been working out extremely hard. He lost 40 pounds. Once training camp opened, everyone was talking about how locked down his defense was, but you know what? Going into this season and starting this season, he has really been extremely impressive, and he is proving to be one of the Lakers' best signings this offseason. He has been that starting point guard for us from day one, which is something that I predicted that a lot of people didn't think was going to come into fruition, but I know my Lakers and I know what the best starting lineup was going to be, and I know Avery Bradley being in there, especially because of his defense, was the best shot for our Lakers, and we have really seen him make the most of that opportunity. Like I mentioned, during training camp, we heard that he was a tenacious defender, and he is not disappointed. He has been a great defender from the start, really just being that lockdown defender in that starting lineup, which is something that has really set the tone, and one of the biggest reasons that the Lakers are such a great defensive team is because we have Avery Bradley in there really making it hard for anyone who he is guarding. Now also, Avery Bradley has also been more aggressive offensively as the season has continued, which has been nice to see. On this season, Bradley is averaging 10.3 points per game. He's averaging 3.6 rebounds, and he's shooting close to 50%. And as the season continues, I'm going to expect that number, especially from 3, to continue to improve, just because he has been, like I said, more aggressive offensively as the season has progressed and continued. And I feel like every game he is getting better and better, especially from offense. But on the defensive end, he has really had a huge impact with this team and has really definitely made the most of his opportunity being that starting point guard. And I think he is the perfect guy to be that starting point guard for us, especially because of his impact he has been able to help the Lakers with on the defensive end. So I, for one, have been very impressed by Avery Bradley with what I've seen from him so far, and I know a lot of Laker fans are as well. Now, continuing on this path, talking about defense, I think you guys may know where I'm going with this, but let's talk about the #1 biggest surprise for our Lakers this season, and has to be the Lakers defense. Now this summer, it was obviously talked heavily that the Lakers needed to prioritize defense. Head coach Frank Vogel said that defense was the main priority this season. We saw all of the players really address this, say that they really needed to be a tough defensive team if they wanted to be a top team this year. But I don't think anyone, including myself, expected them to be the #1 defensive team in the entire league, because you guys, that is what the Lakers are. They are currently the #1 defensive team in the entire NBA, and it feels really great to say that, because the last 6 or 7 years, we have been at the bottom in terms of our defense. We have just been awful defensively, so to have the Lakers finally be at the top in terms of their defense is very, very exciting. Now, the Lakers were definitely going to be much improved this season in terms of their defense in general because we added some really talented defenders. We have Anthony Davis, who is one of just the best defenders in the league. We got Avery Bradley, we got Danny Green, Kyle Kuzma was supposed to be making some big strides defensively. We got Dwight Howard, of course, who's a great defensive player. So the Lakers were definitely going to be a much improved defensive team, but the #1 team in defense, man, that is something that is just never going to get old saying. The reason that the Lakers have the #1 record in the West in general is because of their defense, because all of their wins have really come from the defensive end because they have struggled so far on their offense, but we have seen their defense really be the catalyst for them, especially when they've had to be in those games where they've had to come back from behind and ultimately win. We've seen them really do it from the defensive end. We've seen the Lakers hold a majority of the teams that they've played against to under 100 points, including some very impressive offensive teams like the Miami Heat, a team who was known for being one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league. The Lakers held them to only 80 points, which is a very impressive. So the Lakers have the ability to be that lockdown defensive team, an elite defensive team in this league. We haven't really seen them do it for a full 48 minutes, which is something that I would like to see them do as the season progresses. But when they do go on their little defensive runs and they do put in that effort on the defensive end, man, they are extremely locked down, and there is honestly no player and no team who is going to be able to score against them. We've seen them do it. We've seen them hold teams to, under 20 points in a quarter. We've seen them, like I said, hold teams like the Miami Heat to just 80 points in an entire game. So far, the Lakers defense has got to be the biggest surprise for us this season, and obviously the most pleasant surprise, because when the Lakers are the #1 defensive team, and once their offense kind of really gets rolling, we get Kuz back and hitting down his shots, we get our three-point shooting more consistent. You guys, who the heck is going to beat us? The Lakers are on their way to an amazing season, and we are just getting started, and so far it has already been so exciting. So I cannot wait to see how the rest of the season plays out. But that is going to be it for today's 5 biggest surprises of the Lakers season so far. Comment down below what you think the #1 surprise has been for you in terms of our Lakers, and comment down below if you have another thing that you think was a big surprise that I maybe didn't mention here today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like it, don't forget to give it a double thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to Chat Sports and this new Chat Sports Lakers YouTube channel as well. And until next time, Laker Han is out. Bye, guys.